Have you ever felt weighed down by your mistakes, as if there's no way back to Allah? What if I told you that there is a simple, powerful way to cleanse your heart, find peace, and invite blessings into your life? Istighfar, seeking Allah's forgiveness, is more than words. It's a key that opens doors of mercy, hope, and guidance. In the next few minutes, discover how turning to Allah with sincerity can transform your heart, your life, and your connection with Him. Istighfar becomes a gentle bridge that reconnects a person with the mercy of Allah, even when they feel unworthy or distant. When someone sincerely seeks forgiveness, they acknowledge their weakness and recognize that only Allah can purify the heart. This humble turning softens the soul and draws it closer to the one who forgives without limit. Every moment of repentance is an act of hope, a declaration that a believer refuses to remain trapped in mistakes. Through istighfar, the heart begins to feel renewed, comforted, and guided. It reminds the believer that Allah's compassion is always greater than their shortcomings. Allah's forgiveness is constant and never restricted by time, situation, or the weight of a person's errors. His mercy is active, ongoing, and far beyond human limitations. When a believer turns to Him, even after long periods of neglect, Allah welcomes that return without hesitation. This divine openness gives the heart a place to rest and rebuild, no matter how troubled it has become. The awareness that Allah never closes His doors allows a person to approach Him with courage rather than fear. It nurtures a deep sense of hope, reminding the believer that redemption is always within reach. When a believer feels genuine sorrow for a mistake, that emotion itself is a powerful form of turning back to Allah. Every quiet moment of regret, every sigh that escapes the heart, is recognized by the one who knows what lies within the soul. Tears shed out of remorse are not signs of weakness, they are signs of a heart awakening and seeking purity. These moments are recorded with compassion, not judgment. Allah values the sincerity behind them, even if the words spoken are few. Such honest feelings become a means for spiritual cleansing, bringing the person closer to divine comfort and acceptance. When Prophet Yunus alayhi salam found himself swallowed by the great fish, he faced complete darkness with no means of escape. Yet in that moment of total helplessness, he turned to Allah with humility, acknowledging his own shortcomings. His heartfelt call was filled with sincerity, and it reached the Lord who controls every situation. Allah responded by transforming a seemingly impossible circumstance into a path of rescue. This story shows that no matter how overwhelming a person's situation feels, sincere repentance can open a way out. Even when everything appears lost, a humble plea to Allah can bring relief from places beyond imagination. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ encouraged frequent istighfar because it keeps the heart awake and mindful of its true purpose. His guidance shows that seeking forgiveness is not only for moments of error, but a daily practice that strengthens a believer's connection with Allah. By making istighfar a regular habit, a person keeps arrogance, heedlessness, and spiritual stagnation away. It helps the heart stay clean and receptive to divine guidance. This consistent act of turning to Allah nurtures humility and gratitude, reminding the believer that every blessing and every moment of ease comes from Him. Frequent istighfar becomes a source of ongoing spiritual nourishment. Istighfar brings a sense of inner calm by clearing the emotional weight that often builds up within the heart. When a person sincerely seeks forgiveness, the mind becomes lighter and more focused, allowing clarity to replace confusion. This spiritual cleansing opens the way for blessings to enter, because the heart is no longer clouded by guilt or restlessness. With a clear conscience, a believer finds it easier to make better choices, maintain patience, and recognize the opportunities Allah places before them. The act of returning to Allah with humility shifts a person's outlook, allowing peace and unexpected forms of goodness to flow into their life. When a person sincerely turns to Allah in repentance, the burdens they carry begin to loosen because the heart is no longer holding on to hidden pain. Istighfar gently removes the heaviness created by past actions and replaces it with a sense of relief. As the heart becomes lighter, it becomes more open to kindness, patience, and spiritual awareness. This softening also reduces the harshness that sins can create inside the soul, allowing compassion and humility to grow. Through this inward transformation, a believer becomes more receptive to guidance and more capable of building a healthier, more peaceful relationship with Allah. Saying Astaghfirullah with sincerity is more than repeating a phrase. It is a moment of deep connection between the heart and its creator. When spoken with humility, it becomes a confession of human weakness and a declaration of trust in Allah's mercy. The tone, intention, and presence of the heart give this simple word immense spiritual power. Each time it is uttered with hope, it strengthens the believer's resolve to change and grow. It also builds a habit of turning back to Allah in every state, whether in ease or difficulty. In this way, Astaghfirullah becomes a steady anchor for the soul. Istighfar has the unique ability to transform the past, present, and future of a believer's life. By seeking forgiveness sincerely, a person can let go of past mistakes, freeing themselves from guilt and regret that weigh heavily on the heart. This release allows the present to be experienced with clarity and gratitude, unclouded by shame or worry. Moreover, consistently turning to Allah opens doors to future opportunities and guidance that may have seemed impossible before. The act of repentance creates a spiritual momentum, drawing blessings, solutions, and protection into a person's life, shaping a path filled with hope and divine favor. Allah's acceptance of a sincere heart demonstrates His infinite compassion and understanding. No matter how many times a person has erred, if they approach Allah with true humility and longing, their repentance is welcomed. This assurance encourages believers to never lose hope, knowing that their mistakes do not define them. The sincerity of intention matters more than the magnitude of sin, and Allah looks at the heart rather than outward appearances. When a person truly turns back, they experience a sense of relief and closeness to their Creator, reinforcing the belief that no matter how far one strays, Allah's mercy is always ready to embrace them. Remember, no matter how far you feel from Allah, Istighfar can bring you back to His mercy and peace. At Graceful Deen, we believe that every sincere return to Allah opens doors of blessings, guidance, and hope. Take a moment to say, "O Allah, forgive me and guide me to what is best," and let it fill your heart with light. Share this reminder, subscribe to Graceful Deen, and comment your prayer below so others can join in seeking Allah's mercy.